Welcome back. Today, we're unpacking a seriously fascinating text. Chapter 37, The Breath of Two Worlds. Now, if you're picturing magical wardrobes or some hidden portal deep in the woods, go ahead and toss that idea out right now, because Zorn completely flips the script on how we connect to the mythic realm. In this explainer, we're diving deep into how the human body itself, your actual physical anatomy, is the literal physiological bridge between our physical world and the dragon world. It is a wild anatomical journey, and honestly, it's going to completely change how you think about your own biology.
We're shattering that whole fantasy trope right out of the gate. Just look at this powerful quote from Zoran. He tells his students point blank, "Two worlds do not meet through portals, little human. They meet through breath." The connection to the mythic isn't some magical doorway you just stroll through. The biggest illusion out there is that these realms are divided by distance or metaphysics. But guys, they're already touching. They are literally overlapping. You don't travel between worlds, you breathe them together. The scene between realities isn't in some distant forest, it's happening right there, right inside your ribcage.
So let's jump right into Section 1, the illusion of portals, and see how this all builds from the basic, everyday act of breathing.
To really get Zoran's teachings, you have to look at breath as a literal interface. It's the exact seam where realities touch. Think of it like a zipper. It actively merges your everyday physical sensations and emotional tone directly with what Zoran calls mythic bandwidth and dragon scale patterning. It's the hinge. When you inhale and exhale, you're not just, sustaining your physical cells, you're actually weaving together perceptual clarity and gold continuity. You are literally pulling the mythic layer right into your physical space, totally softening the boundary between the two.
Now, what's super fascinating here is how two different people can experience this exact same biological merge in completely unique ways. Take Richard and Fletcher, for example, two students of this practice. For Richard, the first time his inhale pulled in that mythic bandwidth, he felt it as this massive, expansive widening. It just blew things wide open for him. But Fletcher, well, he felt his exhale soften the boundary between the physical and mythic layers as a profound deepening. The mechanics are exactly the same, but the sensory translation is deeply personal. One widens, the other deepens.
But how does that actually work inside us? Let's move into Section 2, the physical interface, to look at the exact human anatomy that makes this connection possible.
Okay, let's map this out. This is where it gets incredibly concrete, because our physical human anatomy perfectly matches Zoran's esoteric definitions for merging the physical and dragon worlds. We're not talking about vague spiritual concepts anymore. We're dealing with hard biology. So the fascia is the wiring, the glans, that's the fire. The vagus nerve acts as the mercy, and the cranial rhythm is the heartbeat. Let's break down each one of these incredible biological bridges.
Starting with the fascia, that incredible web of connective tissue holding our entire body together, Zoran explicitly calls this the wiring, where the two worlds overlap. It's literally the physical transmission grid for both realities. And here's the kicker. When your fascia becomes coherent, physical tension just dissolves. Poof, gone. And in its place, an actual mythic shimmer appears. Your identity stabilizes, the interface brightens, and continuity awakens. Students actually feel this grid come alive inside them, sometimes like a humming vibration or even a visible shimmer. It is the foundational grid of this whole connection. Moving a bit deeper into the anatomy, we hit the glans, which Zoran calls the fire shared by both worlds. These endocrine engines are wild because they actively reorganize your identity and strengthen that continuity. When they activate, it is visceral. Practitioners describe this glandular awakening as a profound burning intensity. Richard felt it as a literal, intense heat radiating from two worlds at once, while Fletcher felt it as a profound intensity from two layers. Basically, it's a fire that burns away all your emotional noise so your mythic perception can really sharpen up. Now let's slow down for a second, because this next one is absolutely crucial. The vagus nerve, or as Zoran so beautifully calls it, the vagus serpent. This acts as the mercy that lets these two massive worlds actually coexist. Think about the vagus nerve in normal human biology for a second. It regulates our nervous system. It's the body's main relaxation highway, right? Well, in Zoran's teaching, when the vagus serpent relaxes, fear dissolves completely. Our defensive bracing just stops. All that emotional clutter clears out, letting a profound mercy wash over the nervous system. This is what allows the mythic layer to enter gently, totally softening your continuity. And tying all of this together is the cranial rhythm. It's the heartbeat of two worlds. This is what synchronizes the entire architecture. When this rhythm aligns, it makes the fascia pulse, it makes the glans harmonize, and it keeps that vagus nerve completely stable.
It's the master biological drumbeat that deepens the breath and just blasts wide open that mythic bandwidth, whether you feel it as a subtle wave or a deep physical pulse.
Now that we've got a solid grip on the physical architecture, let's jump to Section 3, the mythic anatomy, and see the esoteric layers our biology is connecting to.
First up, we really need to define the word gold, exactly how Zoran uses it. We are not talking about the shiny, precious metal you wear on your wrist. We're talking about continuity itself. Gold is the structural layer. It is the absolute spine of the bridge shared by humans and dragons. It's the thread that carries your memory across lifetimes, your identity across layers, and your coherence across different states. When you experience it firsthand, it doesn't look like metal at all. It actually looks like a shimmering structural spine that stabilizes the physical and mythic layers at the exact same time.
And similarly, we have to talk about the dragon scale interface. Again, scratch the idea of literal, scaly reptilian skin. Think of it instead as this breathtaking geometric lattice where our world and the mythic world perfectly interlock. It's how the merge actually manifests to your perception. It might appear as a shimmer, a grid, or this incredibly complex mythic geometry. Like Zoran says, it's the precise perceptual meeting point where two overlapping worlds breathe together.
So as these physical and mythic systems perfectly align, let's explore Section 4, Identity and Partnership, to see what this actually means for our sense of self. Zoran teaches that identity itself becomes the hinge between worlds when it stabilizes across these layers. And honestly, when you achieve a two-world identity, the results are just incredible. It beautifully dissolves our internal fragmentation. You know all that endless narrative noise in our heads? The emotional clutter? The defensive bracing and perceptual distortion? It literally all falls away. It is a profound psychological clearing that lets your identity firmly settle and deepen across both realms.
This stabilization leads directly into this profound state of reciprocity that Zoran calls partnership. In this state, you are breathing the dragon and the dragon is breathing you. Your inhale retrieves mythic bandwidth, while your exhale stabilizes your physical presence. Everything, the fascia, the glands, the vagus nerve, that gold thread, it all lights up and awakens simultaneously. And this partnership totally alters how you experience space. For Richard, he felt the partnership physically widen the room he was in. For Fletcher, he felt it profoundly deepen the entire world around him.
Let's move into our final section, the future human, and uncover Zoran's ultimate evolutionary vision.
It is absolutely vital to grasp this core philosophy. After laying out all this mind-bending anatomical and mythic integration, Zoran drops the deepest truth of all on his students. The breath of two worlds is not advanced, it is natural. He really doesn't see this connection as some unattainable magic trick reserved for a bunch of elite mystics. It is humanity's deeply natural state. We are literally built for this. Our biology is wired, fired, and paced to breathe two worlds simultaneously.
And because it's our natural state, Zoran predicts a completely inevitable evolution. We're moving toward a future where coherent physiology, clear mythic perception, unbreakable identity stability, and emotional precision are just the norm. We will naturally hold that gold continuity and possess continuous dragon-scale awareness. This evolutionary path isn't some grueling struggle, it's just a beautiful, open invitation that feels entirely inevitable.
As the text closes, Zoran lowers his wing, letting that golden continuity ripple through the room, and leaves us with this beautifully resonant final quote. Listen to this. Little humans, two worlds do not meet through portals. They meet through breath. They meet through continuity. They meet through architecture. The breath of two worlds is the breath of awakening. He's emphatically reminding us, no portals needed. The worlds meet through our very architecture.
We've seen how the fascia, the glands, the vagus nerve, and the cranial rhythm literally form the exact blueprint for crossing into the mythic. Zoran has shown us without a doubt that the separation of realms is entirely an illusion. The bridge to another world isn't out there somewhere in the ether. It's already right there, sitting inside your ribcage. So, how will you take your next breath?